HAL 9000's prequel trilogy impressed me so much. I thought, if he can do this for the prequels, I wonder what he can do for the sequel trilogy. So let's check out HAL 9000's sequel trilogy fan edits. HAL 9000's edit of Episode 7, called The Force Awakens Restructured, his intentions were to move the destruction of the Hosnian system to the climax of the film, implementing all the little things necessary to facilitate it seamlessly, and address a few other minor things. With The Force Awakens, it's been, I would say, fairly divisive, I guess. I guess most people like the movie fine. I mean, it doesn't do anything terrible, but I guess the similarity between it and A New Hope, Episode 4, a lot of people bring that up as sort of their big criticism for it, is that it just doesn't feel fresh enough. And of course, the fact that none of the legacy characters get to be in a scene together. They're all sort of split up and nobody really gets to talk to each other. I mean, of course, we have Han and Leia talking to each other for a minute, but for the most part, yeah, it's weird to, do another series of movies and not bring the original crew back together. There are a lot of subtle changes throughout the movie, but one of the ones I really, really enjoyed was during Rey's Force vision on Takodana. There's this, if you remember, there's all of these sort of scenes from the original trilogy. But one of the things he added was the Emperor saying, "It is unavoidable. It is your destiny," which I think is kind of cool because, especially the way that the movie's turned out, it actually makes sense for it to be, maybe some hints dropped here and there. HAL 9000's edit really does something where it's sort of an emotional thing. It makes the stakes a little more important. Basically, the idea that, Starkiller Base in the middle of the movie basically goes online and destroys the Hosnian system, the heart of the Republic. And it never really struck me as being that weird until I saw HAL 9000's edit, where he moves this to the end of the film. So basically, the Resistance is going to Starkiller Base to try and stop this from happening, and they fail. And it's one of those things that it really, really works, like, surprisingly well. But I would say that if you're a fan of Han Solo, it does take away a little bit from Han's death, because you're immediately followed by the destruction of multiple systems. So it's a little strange, but overall, I think it's really, really well done here. Of course, moving the Hosnian system destruction to the end of the film means that Hux's big, sort of Nazi-esque speech gets moved as well. I think the only real thing that I have a problem with moving that Hosnian system, toward the end of the movie, is that when everybody gets back, there's like a celebration, and it seems a little out of place when, the whole Republic has been destroyed now. It just felt a little weird. So, I mean, but look, it's an interesting idea to move that stuff. I just don't know if it was 100% successful, if you know what I mean. Of the three movies, I'd say that The Force Awakens Restructured is probably the most conservative edit of the three. It was a lot of work, to move a scene from the middle of the movie to the end of the movie. But at the same time, it didn't overall change my view of the movie that much. So I'd probably give this edit like a 3.25 out of 4 stars. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Episode 8, The Last Jedi, Legendary. HAL 9000's intentions for Episode 8, The Last Jedi, Legendary, was to address a few standout issues about the film which distract from its focus. This is a fairly conservative edit, doing what is possible to streamline the film without radically altering it. All things considered, this fan edit is intended as a lightweight alternative to other edits which remove large swaths of the film. His edit for Episode 7 was actually a minute longer, right, than the original film. For Episode 8, The Last Jedi Legendary, it goes from 2 hours and 32 minutes down to 2 hours and 23 minutes. So there is definitely some things taken out of this movie, including, the your mama joke at the beginning, which really the interchange between Hux and Poe is still there, but it's severely cut down. One of the other ones was the addition of a couple of deleted scenes here and there, including one where Poe gives Finn the fixed jacket, which I always thought was kind of a cool scene, and it actually fits pretty well here. Another one is the caretakers are completely missing from Octo. So yeah, no worries, no worries there. I think most people, I don't know. I don't know if people really didn't like them, but it was a change that he made nevertheless. And but probably the biggest change was Canto Bite. Canto Bite is probably everyone's least favorite scene in the movie, or least favorite sequence. There's a lot that you can do with this, and I am very, very impressed with the work that Hal did here. So what happens is DJ gets them out of the cell, and Finn and Rose follow along. DJ comes up on BB-8, who's kind of taking the guards out, and then it cuts, goes to another part of the movie, and then the next time you see them, they're on the ship already. So no father chase, no kids, none of that stuff. The father chase in particular is one of those where there are a couple of different shots that look bad. I mean, they just look bad for a big, Star Wars movie. It looks pretty bad. So I'm actually very, very appreciative of that being taken out. In the original movie, as Finn and Rose are trying to escape the supremacy, Finn faces off against Phasma and defeats her, and then BB-8 shows up with, I guess, the bottom of an AT-ST, right? And they kind of ride to a shuttle and they take off. Yeah, all of that's been taken out. It actually facilitates moving the story forward quicker, and I actually kind of appreciate the change. Although it does look, I mean, it just kind of sucks that Phasma was built up to be this huge, amazing character, and then nothing. But hey, that's the way it goes, right? Now, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and this might get me some dislikes, but look, The Last Jedi is my favorite of the 3 Disney trilogy movies that they put out. I think it's the one that takes the most risks. It does the most with character and lore, and I don't know. I like it. I've just liked it the best, and I think it's also the prettiest. That movie is just gorgeous. But I'm really impressed with HAL 9000's work here. I think that again, there were some scenes that were taken out that I didn't even realize were taken out because I was so involved in the storytelling. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a testament to his editing ability to make you not realize, oh my gosh, something's been taken out here. Really, really well done. I'd probably give this, a 3.5 out of 4 stars? I mean, that's pretty good. So let's see what HAL 9000 can do for episode 9. HAL 9000's edit of episode 9, called The Rise of Skywalker Ascendant, attempts to improve upon the film as the series' conclusion to the degree possible from a constructive perspective. This project does not seriously alter the story, but enhances it. I think it's probably no surprise that Rise of Skywalker is my least favorite of all of the Disney movies, and just the trilogy and all the rest of them. I think it does a disservice to movies that came before, especially the original trilogy, by bringing the Emperor back. But look, we're not here to talk about what I think about The Rise of Skywalker, even though I think it's masterfully edited. It's technically perfect. It's just the story just didn't work for me. But we're not here to talk about that. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about HAL 9000's edit. And what he did is he took it from about 2 hours and 22 minutes down to 2 hours and 18 minutes. And there are a lot of small things taken out. And I think it really, really helps the flow of the movie. There were a few things in the original movie that just kind of makes your eye roll a little bit, because you're just like, what? I don't understand. But let's just take a checklist of some of the things that have been removed in this edit. No light speed skipping. No somehow Palpatine returned. No they fly now. No, I never told you, as they're sinking through the sand. I mean, look, some of this stuff is still, some of it's goofy. It's very convenient that they just sort of run into things. But look, I think he's done a great job of trying to lessen the blows a little bit. One of the best little, I guess, omissions is that there's no longer this Goonies-esque, dagger with the Death Star and all that. Yeah, all that whole thing has been removed, and there's this subtle, I guess, like chanting that happens that leads Rey where she needs to go. Makes a lot more sense. It's a lot more believable, and yeah, it really works for me. I think the weird thing is when I'm watching it, I'm still going, man, I don't like this. There's a feeling that I don't like the constant, retconning of previous movies. It's annoying to me. But yeah, one of the big changes, and I think a lot of people probably, especially across message boards, after Rise of Skywalker came out, was why weren't the Jedi behind them? Like behind Rey and helping. You know, and in this version, yes, we do get Yoda and Obi-Wan and Anakin and Luke standing there helping Rey fight the Emperor. And it was kind of cool to see, but it's also like, I don't know. The scene just doesn't work for me, like, period. So it's kind of hard for me to judge it. The one thing too is, the Emperor says something like, "I am all the Sith." I'm like, okay. And then Rey comes back and is like, I'm all the Jedi. And I'm like, okay. That has been changed. And she just said, "I'm a Jedi," which I think works better, but it almost feels like, and I am Iron Man. I don't know. It's a weird thing. And the scene just, I think he does it the best he can do it. I just I just don't like it. One little interesting change too is that at the end, when Rey is going back to Tatooine to bury Luke and Leia's lightsabers on the desert planet that Luke was always trying to get away from for his whole life. But anyway, when she goes there, there's, instead of it starting with her, looking around on Tatooine, it starts off with Chewie playing chess with Finn and Poe. And I just like that because it shows that, they're a family and they're going to continue to go on adventures together. I just really like that. And then you see her come down the ramp and do the thing as they're still talking, which I really, really appreciated. I liked that. I like that little addition. And then there's the addition of, well, Ben next to Luke and Leia. It's such a weird thing, right? Like, why would Ben disappear? I don't understand. It's all weird to me. It's just, the movie's strange. Look, I'm sorry, but it's really hard for me to. It's hard for me to watch a movie that was made specifically as a middle finger to people that like the previous movies. And I don't know. I don't like the movie, but I will say that it worked better for me this time. I don't think my extreme dislike, because it's not hatred. I don't hate the movie. I just really don't like it. The fact that he lessened that, HAL 9000 was able to lessen my dislike of this movie. I think that has to be commended, right? There's a lot of things that I feel work a lot better now than they did in the original version. So I would say that it's really hard for me to judge here, but I would say, again, a technical ability, perfect. I mean, can you do better? I don't know. With the amount of sound options and commentaries and all the things that are available on HAL 9000's releases, it's hard for me to judge. But I will say that yes, I did enjoy this movie in this version more than the original version. So I'll just stop there and say, job well done. So HAL 9000's sequel trilogy. Has anyone else seen these? Look, the reason that I went ahead and watched these was because they were so highly rated. And I really wanted to give him a shot, especially after seeing what he did with the prequel trilogy. So let me know what you think of these down below. And especially let me know if, one, you're interested in watching these now because of this review, or two, if you have any other fan edits that you might want me to review in the future. So let me know down below and we'll talk about it. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.